Again, just going over the warm-up a little bit on P2 Combining Radicals. You know, the next step there on number 2, you know, you could use, you're always asking yourself product, power, or quotient rule. In this case, there's a big old dot in the middle, which means you're using that product property. So you find the product of 3 and 32. 3 times 32, what we got, like 96? And then I think that breaks down into 16 and 6. 16 I can square root. Square root of 16, that's 4. Square root of 6, that's an irrational number. So that actually can't be simplified. So we have 4 root 6 there. Three also look good. Remember, you can reassociate the multiplication. I'm kind of doing that in my head. I'm going to multiply the radical parts together and then the numbers together. Remember, there's like a 1 in front of any radical we see. So 1 times 4 would give me 4. And then, again, the square root of 3 times the square root of 2. 3 times 2 is 6. So that'll give me the square root of 6. And then the square root of 6, we just saw, oh my gosh, it's the same answer as number 2. That's so funny. 4 root 6 is the same answer. Oh, I see what I did there. Do you see what I did there?
No.
I was showing you there's another way to do number 2. Do you see it?
Multiply it.
Do you see the square root of 32? You could also simplify it first.
That's longer.
Is it? That's longer in your opinion? Okay. No.
To do it, and then I was like, this is too.
So just jumping right into multiplying using that property is the way you want to go. I like it. Hey, both are mathematically legit, but I think, wow, I was actually thinking about that warm up a little bit when I typed that one out. That's kind of cool. All right, so we got in number 4, we're using that product property to break this problem apart a little bit. And I saw quite a few of you busting this guy up here into its factors. And then you do ask yourself, you know, how many times does 4 go into 6?
Once.
It is, so x to the first comes out.
I didn't even see the 4.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
It was hiding from you.
The square root.
Yeah, so we have an index of 4 in that one. And then, yeah, so 4 goes into 6 one time, and then there's a remainder. If 4 goes into 6 one time, there's 2 left over. So that remainder we talked about yesterday becomes the exponent for the variable in your radicand. It's supposed to be a 2 there, but my stylus doesn't want to write it. There we go. And then you ask yourself again, you know, how many times does 4 go into 12? 4 goes into 12 3 times. So that'll be y to the third. And then you can pretty that problem up a little bit. So the x to the first and the y to the third would come out. And then one way to write that is the 4th root of x squared. We did briefly talk about reducing the index. We're still not at the point in the lesson or in the chapter where I would necessarily expect that. But because, like, I know 4 doesn't go evenly into 2, but 2/4 does reduce. So if you ask yourself, you know, how many times does 4 go into 2? It doesn't, but 2/4 is a half. So that's the skill we call reducing the index, which I will talk about a little more when we do properties of rational exponents. So if I want to use that 1/2 there, I can use that to rewrite this radical part. So the root is a square root, and that would be x to the first in the radicand. So it's actually the square root of x. So that's a good answer there. And that's the skill we call reducing the index. We'll talk about that a little later on. But if you have this answer right here, hey, friends, celebrate every victory. That's a really good answer. So this guy here is also totally cool with me. I like it. If you're getting that far, you pat yourself on the back. You did a good job. Alrighty. Questions about your warm-up for today? You all right, Alex?
Yeah.
Yeah, any of these mess with you at all? Nope, nice. All right. So today, we are going to talk about combining like terms. It's a pretty easy lesson, actually. So fun fact, radical expressions can be combined, in other words, added or subtracted when they are like. So that word in the blank there is like. Before I get too far into this, let me not get too far ahead of myself. I'm going to need a little audience participation today. I'm going to need you to shout quite loudly. I'm going to ask you a series of very easy questions. Are you ready to yell at your math teacher? Okay, all right, let's do this. Time to rip the Band-Aid off. Time to get yelled at. My very first easy math question of the day is this. 3 plus 2.
5.
Royce is the only one who yelled at me. I don't know what that means, Royce.
Say it again.
Let's try that again. What is 3 plus 2?
5.
Thank y'all.
5.
Honor student, yes. 3 plus 2 is 5. Let's do another one. I think you can hang with this. Ready? Let's do 3x plus 2x.
5.
Wow, there we go. 5x. Okay, wait. How about 3z plus 5z? Oh, wait.
8Z.
I didn't mean that. Back it up.
Oh, you said it.
I know. 3z plus 2z.
5Z.
5z. Yeah, thank you. For you Mr. Clark fans, I was going to do 3 pez plus 2 pez. 5 pez. Yeah, so the idea is that we kind of just bring along that variable part when we're combining like terms. So you may even observe that the 5 didn't have anything attached to it because the 3 and the 2 didn't have anything attached to it, right? It's not like I put x squared there or z squared. I just brought the variable along for the ride. Okay, wait. Check out my first example. I got 3 square roots of 2 plus 2 square roots of 2. What is it?
5 square root of 2.
Yes, 5 square roots of 2. You just taught yourself today's lesson. Congratulations. Pat yourself on the back. I've done very little. All right, so 5 square roots of 2 is the answer. Notice what we're doing today, friends. We are adding and subtracting. You see this plus sign? That did not appear in the chapter until today. So this is your first occurrence of a plus sign or a minus sign. That is the focus of today's lesson. What do we do with that plus and that minus? The square root of 2. I'll be honest with you. Some kids are like, they know that number out to like 10 decimal places. I work with some nerdy kids, man. Square root of 2, I don't know that number out to 10 decimal places. Numbers I don't know in math class, I don't know. We call them variables. So in my head, this square root of 2 is behaving like x. Like it's behaving like what we just did up top here. I don't necessarily know the exact value of the square root of 2, so treat it like a z. It just comes along for the ride. Okay, let's say you don't like that. You're like, why does that square root of 2 not change? Why is that number just staying there? Okay, well, you've all been through an entire chapter on factoring. So here's a slightly different take on doing this problem. You can use whichever method you like best. So you see how they both have the square root of 2? That square root of 2 is actually what you and I affectionately refer to as a greatest common factor. You can GCF that square root of 2 right out of the problem. So if you pull the square root of 2 out and ask yourself, square root of 2 times what gives you 3 square roots of 2? The answer is 3. And then you smarty smart kids would bring down your plus sign. And then you would ask yourself the same thing, like what is the square root of 2 times what gives you 2 square roots of 2? Well, that's 2. If you take a hot second to simplify what's in the parentheses there, 3 plus 2, that's 5. Big kids don't write radical responses like that. It would be 5 root 2 as your final answer. So, option 1, just combine like terms. Option 2, little fancier. Just take out the like factor, the common factor, and combine what's left. When we do variables, because you're going to notice in this chapter, I do it with numbers, then I do it with variables, then I do it with numbers, then I do it with variables. Tomorrow's lesson is going to throw some letters in. This becomes a little bit more of a common technique tomorrow when we have a bunch of letters flying around in the problem. A little heads up there. But that's what we're learning today. We are learning how to add and subtract radical expressions. So if I have 5 cube roots of 3 minus, I'll call this 1 cube root of 3 here. I know there's no 1 there, but you can put a 1 in front of anything. If I do 5 cube roots of 3 and I take away 1 cube root of 3, how many cube root of 3s are left over?
2.
It hurts. Got me right in the shoulder blades, I'm not gonna lie. And yes, thank you, that's better. So I'd have 4 cube roots of 3 left over. Again, if you're not a fan, you can pull the cube root of 3 out. But literally, you're just combining like radicals. The cube root of 3, it's like x. You're doing 5x minus 1x. You'd have 4x. Well, x in this case is the cube root of 3. Okay, questions about that one? Notice no work, which is an option. I get sometimes there won't be work, but not on the next one. All right, we got 4 square roots of 2 minus the square root of 18. You're like, woman, please. You said we are supposed to combine like radicals. And yes, very good. So right now you're like all mad because this 2 doesn't match this 18. But I liked what I heard from the right side of the room. Simple.
Wait.
It's, I guess, my right,
Oh, yeah.
but you're left. I know, you're on the other side now. You can simplify the square root of 18, break it down to 9 times 2. So what you're actually getting is there's more than one step to some of these problems, but only 2. It doesn't get more than that. You simplify first, then you combine like radicals. So I'm going to have to simplify this guy. So the square root of 9 is 3. And the square root of 2 is an irrational number, so I leave it alone. Like most irrational things in my life, we'll leave them be. So we got 4 square roots of 2 minus 3 square roots of 2. Yeah, you could write 1 square root of 2 or the square root of 2. They mean the same thing. And you guys are crushing our lesson today. Nice job. All right, we got one more, and then I have your IP, your independent practice. Oh, this guy, look at him.
I got it.
Yeah, that's a,
Oh, do you really? Okay, it's got a cube root in it.
So
Talk to me, Royce.
you break the 40 into 8 and 5.
Yes.
Then cube roots down to 2 and 5.
Yes, yes, it does, sir.
And then
2.
So the cube root of 8, I heard it is 2, because 2 times 2 times 2 gives you 8.
Wow.
Yeah, again, if you're wondering like where Royce is getting his numbers, he observed that it's a cube root, and so you have to think about those other 5 numbers, right? So we're talking about 1, 8, 27, 64, and 125, right? And you have to ask yourself which of those numbers goes into 40, and he's right. 8 is in that list, it's the one number that does divide evenly into 40. 40 divided 8 ways does give us 5. Okay, but don't forget about the 2 out in front. That's kind of a common thing. So, make sure you bring down the whole set of factors you have there. So to the right side of this plus sign isn't just 2 cube roots of 5, it's 4 cube roots of 5. Okay, does anybody have any questions on how I simplified 2 cube roots of 40? Again, the 40 broke down into 8 times 5. The cube root of 8 is just 2. And then I had to bring down my 2 out in front here. 2 times 2 is 4, so that's how I got the 4 cube roots of 5. All good? Okay, and then I'm just, this guy over here, 2 cube roots of 5 doesn't simplify, so I'm going to bring that down. That one has a long fall there. And then now I'm looking at something that makes a little sense in this lesson. You have 2 cube roots of 5 plus 4 cube roots of 5. 2 cube roots of 5 plus 4? 4 more cube roots of 5? What do you got?
6 cube roots.
Yes, sir. The 4, do you see where this 8 came from?
Yeah.
Okay, so the cube root of 8 is 2,
J.
and then the 2 is out in front. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Who is it? Somebody with keys. Must be an important person.
They're janitor.
Oh, hi.
Is this you? Is this for you or is this for upstairs? Reel it in.
I think that should actually be in the main
It's
office.
got your,
All good? All right, nice job, guys. I'm impressed. All right, so now you have a little bit of independent practice to go ahead and take care of. So you have 2 problems to try on your own first. You should not be diving into your homework just yet. You know, quality over quantity, people. But yeah, take a second. Remember today's algorithm, procedural technique, 2 steps. Step 1, simplify your radicals. Step 2, combine them if they're like. Alrighty. Take a little second to self-assess there. Take a little personal inventory of your skill set. First one there is 9 square roots of 2. Second one is 9 cube roots of 2.
You make these problems yourself.
I do.
Wow. It's probably harder than solving them.
No. I just pick my favorites and like, well, double it, triple it.
Oh, yeah.
Alrighty, that's your lesson for today, kids.
That's it?
It's, yep, you learned your new thing, your shiny new skill. Yep, it's lit.
No.